Alright guys, this is our first instructional video that I've made for you guys this year, and the objective of this video is to help you understand how to use place value and the power of 10 with digits. Alright, so what does that mean? Well, let's just start off really simple. Here's 6, and it's a digit, and it just means 6 units. But if I put it here, it literally means 6 ones. If I put it here, it means 6 tens, or 60. And in 4th grade you learned that if you're one place to the right of the decimal, it actually means 6 tenths. If you're here, it's 6 hundredths. Alright, and if you're here, this is what you guys hopefully have finished the project that was assigned last night, which was to understand what is thousandths. And so if you actually have a digit here, it would be 6 thousandths, which would be hundredths divided up 10 more times. I think I said that right, which would give you thousandths. And 6 thousandths can be a pretty small part, depending on what you're splitting. Anyways, so this digit can mean many, can have different values depending on where it's at on the place value chart. Alright? Here it's hundreds, here it's hundredths, here it's tens, here it's tenths. Alright, so if it's here, oops, let's try a different digit. So let's try 9. Alright, how much is that worth? Say it. Yeah, 9 tens, or 90. Alright, let me be more specific now. What's the value of that? It would be 9 hundredths, or it's in the hundredths column. Alright. How about what's that value? 900. Alright, one more. How about there? Just 9. Just 9 units. Alright, so that's that. That's kind of a review. And now the next thing I would talk about is how do we say these numbers? So let's build a number. Let's put digits in those place values. And here we have 6 ones and 9 tens. And lots of times kids will say this is 6.9. We don't want to say it that way. We want to use place value. So we want to say it as 6. Use the word and to mean that decimal. And then use the name of this digit with this place value. So watch. 6 and 9 tenths. If I wanted to change it, I could do something like this. Let's try this. How would you say this? Well, 6 and then you just read the number and end with that place value. So watch, 6 and 24 hundredths. Let's try another one. So let's go big. Right, let's 2 and 469 thousandths. See that? I'm not worried about those. I just read the number and say the place value. Alright, let's get some more numbers. Excuse me, digits. Alright, let's try this. Okay, so here it's 42 and 23 hundredths. Alright, let's put a 0 in. Here it's 42 and 3 hundredths. So that's just a real quick primer on how to read numbers with decimals. And that's what we're going to keep practicing actually probably for the next few weeks, because we're going to be camping out with decimals for a while. And we're going to really focus on using and place value instead of saying point. Alright? Okay. So that leads us into kind of our lesson for today, which is this, the power of 10. And that's where in your text you're going to see things like 1/10 of and 10 times as much as. I should have an as there, but okay. So let's just start off with something really simple. Let's start off with 20. All right. Now let's start off with 2. So this is 2. And what if I asked you, what is 10 times as much as 2? Well, that's 2 times 10. And since one way to think of it is since we're going to be making our value greater, well, if we move to the left here, it's going to get greater. And if you move to the right, your values are going to tend to get smaller. So 10 times as much as 2, well, that's 20. And do you see what happened there? my digit moved one place because it's 10 times, and each time anything gets 10 times bigger, it moves once to the left, and if it gets 10 times smaller, it moves one place to the right. Now that's a lot, so let's practice. Watch. Let's try another one. We have 3. We want to be 10 times as much as 3. Well, since we're getting greater, and it's 10 times, we're going to move it one place to the left. That's 30. And that's easy to see because you guys know what 10 times 3. Let's try another one. Alright, let's try 9. 10 times as much as 9. Well, since it's 10 times as much, what's getting greater by 10 times moves once to the left, and it's 90, right? 10 times 9 is 90. Alright, well, that rings true anywhere on here. Let's say we have 2/10. What's 10 times as much as 2/10? Well, since it's 10 times greater, we move once to the left, and it would be 2. Alright? Alright, let's try another one. Let's try 5/10. What is 10 times as much as 5? Well, it's... Whoops, I said that wrong. 10 times as much as 5/10. Well, it's 5. Alright? What's 10 times as much as 50? Well, what is that? That's 500. What's 10 times as much as... Now let's go to 2 digits. What's 10 times as much as 32 hundredths? Well, 10 times, everything moves one digit and it becomes 3 and 2/10. Not 3.2, but 3 and 2/10. What's 10 times as great? I need to slow down because now you should be saying this out loud. So I'm going to slow down. What's 10 times as much as 932 thousandths? Say it. Well, if you moved it on your own, which reminds me, I'm assuming you got out your own place value chart and tiles because I gave those to you. So what is 10 times as much as 932 thousandths? Well, move it once because I got 10 times greater, and it's 9 and 32 hundredths. Isn't that nice? This is really, really helpful, and I have found that that in math frequently there are kids. Watch this. I'm gonna put this right here. Who understand that if you have 9 and 32 hundredths, and there's a math problem that says times it by 10, some kids get this. They've learned this at some point, and they see this in middle school. Well, that's 10 times greater, so all the digits move one place to the left. And these kids, there's kids who are they automatically know, and they just write it. Where then there's other kids who are like, I don't know. And they're left doing the computation of this. And as you can see, it takes a lot longer to come up with the answer. And so this is the power of 10 and place value. All right, let's get back on the screen here. Oh, okay, kind of messed up my background. All right, there we go. So that was just 10 times as much. So we're going to do a few more 10 times as much. Let's start off with 8,000. So you should be building it, and I want 10 times as much as 8 thousandths. Well, that's, since we're increasing, we move them all this way. And now we have 800. So if it's 10 times as much again, we'll move it one more time. And now we have 8/10. Alright? So think of it, when it's 10 times as much, you're getting bigger, move to the left. Alright. Now let's think of 1/10 of. Alright. Well, let's start with something you understand intuitively. If we have 10, and we want 1/10 of 10, well, we're getting smaller by the power of 10, so we would just move once to the right. And it's just 1. 1/10 of 10 is 1. Alright, let's try another one. So let's just put 9. What is 1/10 of 9? Well, since we're getting 10 times smaller, we would move it once to the right, and it becomes 9/10. Now let's draw a picture of that, right? Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Oh, I can do this. So here's 1. Let's get it back on the screen. Whoops, all my stuff is flying around. Alright, here's 1. Remember, this represents 1. I have 1 right here, and I want 1/10 of it. Alright, so here's my 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So this is just 1. This represents it. I want 1/10 of it. It's just that one piece, right? It's 1 out of 10. That's 1/10 of 1. Excuse me. Is that? Well, that's what happens when you literally have 1. What's 1/10 of it? Because I'm decreasing by the power of 10, I move to the right. See that? So what is 1/10 of 1? 1/10. I think I just said something slightly off. Alright, well, we'll keep going. Alright, so let's practice a few of those, and then we'll do some together and practice answering it. So let's do a few of these. So let's just go to 2 digits here. Let's say I have 9 and 3/10. What's 1/10 of that? Well, I'm getting what? 10 times smaller. So I move it once to here, and it's 93 hundredths. You see that? All right, let's try another one. Let's try 24. What's 1/10 of 24? Well, I'm getting 10 times smaller, so I move my digits to the right. It's 2 and 4/10. Let's try it here. I have 42 hundredths. What's 1/10 of that? Move it once to the right, and what does it become? 42 thousandths. So I've got taught for 12 minutes, so for a few minutes now I'm going to build a number, you build it with me, and I'm going to ask you to do something, and you do it, and we'll see if you're right. Okay, we'll do about 6 of these. Ready? Let's start off here. 9. What is 1/10 of 9? You manipulate it. 1/10 of 9. Alright, well, since you're getting 10 times smaller, you should have moved to the right. And the answer would be 9/10. Try another one. Okay. 19 hundredths. No, that's 12 hundredths, excuse me. What is 1/10 of 12 hundredths? You manipulate it. 12 hundredths. Well, you're right. You got 10 times smaller, so move the digits to the right, and it's 12 thousandths. All right. Try another one. How about 9 and 3/10? What's right here? 10 times as much. 10 times as much as this. Well, that's 10 times greater, so what would you do? Well, you're right. Move it one place value to the right. You get 93. Try another one. How about 63 thousandths? 63 thousandths. 10 times as much as that. Right? You build, you move. Right? 10 times bigger? That's 1 to the left. And now you have what? 63, hundredths. Right? What if it's 36? I want 10 times as much as that. Well, build it. You have 36, 10 times as much as that. There it is. 360. So guys, that's how it works. If you are dealing with 1/10 of something, you're getting smaller and you move it to the right. If you're dealing with 10 times as much, move it to the left. And remember, when you read place value, just read, here's your whole, read that. Alright, so let's try this. 906, and then this is separate, and 36 hundredths. Read this, say and, read this, add the place value. Alright, guys, I'll see you in a week.